Hello there, welcome to our channel. Today we will show you a collection of mini woodworking ideas. So, watch the video until the end to see these beautiful ideas and get inspiration. We post furniture, decor and craft ideas videos on daily basis. Mini woodworking is one of the most enjoyable ways to build useful objects, sharpen your hand skills, and keep creative momentum without needing a full workshop. A mini approach simply means smaller projects, smaller tools, and a workspace that can fit on a desk, garage shelf, or even a corner of your living area. If you enjoy making things but don't want the complexity of large furniture builds, mini woodworking ideas are perfect. They help you learn fundamentals like measuring accurately, cutting safely, gluing carefully, sanding thoroughly, and finishing in a way that protects the wood and makes it look great. The best part is that even small projects can be meaningful gifts, practical daily helpers, or satisfying display pieces. One of the simplest mini woodworking ideas is a set of coaster blocks. You can use hardwood offcuts, softwood scraps, or bundled plywood squares. Cut consistent rectangles, chamfer the edges slightly so they feel comfortable, and sand them starting with a medium grit and finishing with a fine grit. Seal the surface with a food-safe finish if you'll use them for drinks. Another easy option is to build a tiny serving tray. Instead of cutting thin long boards, you can stack small strips into a grid, then glue them into a tray base and add simple low rails around the edges. Even a small tray becomes a project that teaches you layout, glue-up technique, and edge work. Wooden pencil holders and desk organizers are also classic mini woodworking projects. A small box with a hinged lid can hold pens, markers, or craft supplies. You can make it from a single block by hollowing out a channel or by gluing multiple pieces into a square or rectangular body. If you want something more functional, build a cable organizer using short wooden spacers and a shallow channel where cables can rest. These projects are great because they help you practice consistent dimensions and repeatable cuts. They also give you an immediate sense of improvement as your storage becomes cleaner and your workspace more comfortable. If you want something decorative, try making small photo frames. You can create frames with simple miter cuts at the corners, or use butt joints and reinforce them with small corner blocks. Frames can be made for a single photo or for a small collage. Another decorative idea is a wood keychain. Cut a small shape such as a rounded rectangle, then drill a hole for a keyring. Sand the edges smooth and apply a protective coat. For personalization, you can lightly carve initials, a small pattern, or a minimal icon. Mini carving is a great way to build precision without committing to a huge sculpture. Shelving upgrades can also be done at a mini scale. A small floating shelf, for example, can be built from a narrow board and two triangular or rectangular support brackets. Even if it's just for a single plant pot, a small shelf can teach you about measuring levelness, choosing screws, and ensuring the bracket design is strong enough. You can also build a tiny wall-mounted box for holding notes or small tools. Add a simple clasp or magnet for closure and finish it with paint or stain. These projects are especially helpful if you want woodworking that changes your home environment quickly. Turning mini woodworking into a useful habit is easier when you build items that support other hobbies. Consider making a small box for thumbtacks and pushpins, a miniature toolbox for hand tools, or a set of wooden blocks for paint mixing. If you do electronics repairs, you can make a small holder for screws and parts, such as a tray with compartments or removable dividers. A mini parts organizer helps you avoid losing tiny hardware and improves the quality of your work. You can also make a simple wood template for repeating marks, like a drilling guide or a cutting guide for small parts. These templates may not look impressive at first, but they save time and reduce errors in future projects. Another fun idea is wooden dice or small game pieces. Instead of making full board game components, start with one or a few items. Dice teach you about accurate measurements and careful sanding to achieve smooth faces. You can make custom-shaped tokens too, such as coins or checkers. If you want a quick win, carve small letters or symbols onto flat wood tags. These tags can become labels for jars, storage bins, or herb planters. Label tags are small but practical, and they make your projects feel organized and complete. For anyone interested in joinery, mini woodworking provides a low-stakes way to learn techniques. Try making small finger-jointed boards by cutting matching notches into thin strips. You can create a mini pen case or a tiny tray with visible finger joints. You can also experiment with dovetail practice by building miniature dovetail blocks using scrap. Even if the joints are not perfect at first, the learning value is huge because you'll see exactly where fit and alignment matter. Another joinery idea is a mini box with a simple lap joint or half lap joint. These small builds are excellent for practicing glue squeeze-out control and keeping pieces square during drying. You can also explore wood turning in a mini style. A small spindle can be turned from a dowel blank into a knob shape, a bottle stopper, or a small decorative bead. If you don't have a lathe, you can still create rounded parts using hand sanding and shaping, turning a block into a simple spindle-like piece by careful removal and steady checking. Mini turning ideas can be as simple as sanding a wooden knob smooth, drilling a hole, and attaching it to a drawer pull or cabinet door. These small improvements teach you about safe tool handling and careful finishing. A very accessible mini project is a wooden bookmark. Cut a strip of wood, round and sand the edges, and glue a small decorative top piece or carve a pattern near one end. Add a thin protective coat so it feels good in a book. You can also make a set of bookmarks with different shapes, waves, hearts, or simple geometric triangles. Another idea is a wooden spatula or spoon rest for kitchen crafts. While it must be finished with food-safe products if it contacts food, a mini spoon rest is small enough to be manageable and useful, and it helps you learn about choosing appropriate coatings. Decorative wall items are another category where small scale shines. A mini wall art panel can be made by arranging small strips into a pattern, gluing them into a panel, and adding a frame. You can create a simple geometric design using contrast woods or by staining some strips darker. You can also make a small wooden clock face insert that holds an inexpensive clock mechanism, turning a plain wall component into something handmade. If clocks feel advanced, start with a simple wooden sign with cutout letters and a backing board. When planning mini woodworking projects, tool choice matters less than technique. Many small projects can be done with a basic handsaw, a small square, a measuring tape, clamps, sandpaper, a drill, and safe glue. A compact workbench or clamp system also helps because many pieces can shift easily. Learning to keep your cuts square and consistent will automatically improve the look of your finished items. Dry fitting parts before gluing is another habit that pays off. With small builds, mistakes are more obvious because there's less surface area to hide errors. Finishing is where mini woodworking becomes truly satisfying. You can leave some items natural for a rustic look, or apply stain for warmth and contrast. If you prefer a smooth feel, sand beyond what you think is necessary, then wipe away dust before finishing. Apply thin coats and let each coat dry properly. Small items absorb finish differently than large surfaces, so patience matters. For a protective but natural look, a clear topcoat works well. For a colorful style, you can use paint or a combination of paint and stain. Even a mini project looks more professional when edges are sanded smooth and finishing is done evenly. Mini woodworking is also a great way to practice sustainability. Using offcuts and scrap reduces material cost and teaches you to work with realistic wood grain. Learning to handle grain direction becomes easier when pieces are small because the results show up faster. You'll also learn which woods are easier to cut and sand, which are likely to splinter, and which hold screws or pins better. This knowledge improves future project quality, even when you step up to larger builds later. Ultimately, the best mini woodworking ideas are the ones that fit your goals. If you want quick gratification, choose coasters, bookmarks, and small trays. If you want skill building, choose small joinery boxes, practice dovetails, or miniature tool holders. If you want to decorate, choose frames, wall art, and personalized tags. If you want practical improvements at home, choose organizers, spoon rests, or small shelves. With mini woodworking, the size of the project doesn't limit the joy of making, because every small build is a step toward better craftsmanship and more confidence in your own creativity. We hope you've enjoyed our today's content. If you do, please consider subscribing to our channel if you haven't already and also smash that notification bell so that you will be the first one to be notified when we upload new videos. And finally, thank you for watching until the end. We look forward to seeing you in our next video.